we're taking just a very leisure ride. We're out, we went to an Airbnb. We're still in North Carolina. But yesterday when I was making sure that everything was ready and we were getting ready to leave, or actually, I guess it was Saturday and we left on Sunday. Today is Monday. Anyway, I went to charge Michelle's battery up and it will not take a charge. It had about half a charge in it, and it would not take it. But we spoke with Rad, and there have been some other issues with her RadCity 5, and we talked to them about it, and I will say, I was quite impressed. They are sending another bike. It is supposed to be here this coming week. I will keep you posted on what happens with that. So while it's kind of a shame that we don't have the bike that she really wanted here, that's okay because we're getting the issues fixed. Like I said, there was other issues with that bike that we were addressing, and we were addressing them through Rad, but this was just the one that topped it off. So right here we're pedaling. We got mileage showing. Stop pedaling. Speedometer quits. Odometer quits. Tripometer quits. Use the throttle. We're showing. Let the throttle off. Speedometer quits. Tripometer quits. With that in mind, we're gonna unbox this one here. And I am solo today. So that could be interesting to get it out of here. We'll see what we have. And of course, we're going to try and save as much of this packaging as we possibly can, because the other bike has to go back. I think this is all strapped together here, and I believe it would be very difficult to get this out on its own. So we are going to do something a little different, and we will see about taking it out this way. Much easier. So what I've done was I brought down the bike that we're going to be returning, and what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to be able to film this because again I'm solo here, but what I'm going to do is as I take something off of this one, I'm going to put it on the other one. So when I take off some of the styrofoam, I'll hook it onto the other one, and you know, it'll cost me a few cable ties. Those things are pretty cheap. And I will be honest, when I got on the phone with Rad, they did do a good job of Rad did a very good job with exchanging this out when we had some problems with the speedometer, and we talked to them about that. They were supposed to send a new control unit, and that didn't end up happening, and so we had some other issues with it. But when I really got on the phone with them, they were helpful. So we're going to try and make sure we put this thing together best that we can. But I'm not going to sit there and try and record every bit of that, or I'll be all night. So we'll get back when we get some of this taken care of. So we are very close to ready. This bike is primarily together. And this one over here has the basics of being ready to put into the box. And so it's getting there. And what we wanted to do with this, and the reason that I didn't film it, because it's taken actually quite a little while. And I'm going from one bike to the other, and I don't have anybody to help me out, so it's just kind of sitting on a tripod. But we're basically taking off a little bit of styrofoam on one, putting it onto the other. And we'll take something off of one and put it onto the other so that we can get it boxed up. And as I said, they've treated us well when I started speaking to them about this is a problem, and we had a trip lined up. And, you know, they got a bike here within a week for us. So it's kind of I guess it was 10 days. But you know what? As a business owner, I can deal with that. I can deal with that. There's only so much you can do. And when it became a problem that they knew they needed to send a bike, they got right on it. So I want to make sure that when we put ours back in the box, it gets to them. Hopefully they can just change the controller, and that's going to be the end of the issues. And they've got another bike that they can go ahead and sell. So, but let me get this whole deal finished up and put the other one in the box so it's ready to get picked up. This is the new one. And this is the old one, packed up, ready to go. I think I've got everything tight. I've got styrofoam on the sides here, and I've got it packed pretty tight up here as well. So, honestly, RadPower Bikes went the extra mile to get this bike to us. And so, I'm going to go the extra mile and get it packed up right for them. Goes up through its passenger assist. Now, the throttle works, and it is freewheeling down, and it is maintaining the speed on there. That tells me that was fixed. And front light is working. Back light is working. Brake lights are working. Both brake lights are working. And so I'm going to say when it gets a little bit more light out, we'll go ahead and take this for a ride and make sure everything's working good. Well, we've got everything together, and we're going to go ahead and take it out and test things out a little bit. We put the bag on it, Michelle's bag, and we put her chosen seat on it, and we put the foam mount that we like to use. The only other thing that we've done that is not stone stock with this is we did wrap up with some Velcro wrap. This little rat's nest that they have up here kind of contained it a little bit, and I'd like to do a little neater job on that, but that's going to do for right now. And we're just going to zip it on down the road. The brakes seem pretty good. Got a little more draw pull on them than the other one, and so we may have to tighten that up a little bit, but they'll, I think, still lock everything up. They'll still stop you real fine. Everything seems to be tight on it. So we'll give it a once over when we get back, and then it'll just be a matter of adjusting it up for Michelle's personal preference, and she'll be back on the road having a rad venture. Well, what does that leave us with? Would I work with RadPower bikes again? In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, I would. You know, the first bike had some issues, and maybe some of these we should have recognized right off the bat, but we didn't recognize it. But in the end, I got to tell you, they really come through. Matter of fact, as I was speaking with the fella on the day before we left, I was on hold for a little while, and he come back and he said, look, I really have to apologize, because what we were trying to see if we could arrange is some way of getting the bike to you before you leave tomorrow. You know, I know I'm not going to hold that against them that they couldn't get it to me before I left the next day. But they did get one shipped out immediately, and it's hard to complain with any of that. So I would absolutely buy another RadPower bike. Would not hesitate. Matter of fact, they got 5 stars plus on their customer service on this one here. So with all that said, well, the next time you see this bike, it'll be piloted by Michelle. And until that time comes along, I can tell you, stay safe, God bless, and keep the wheels turning. Here in North Carolina, we're out.